What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. We thought we would jump on here just to talk about the breaking news that's happened within the past hour or so. Brian Madjo has officially been cleared to play for Aston Villa this season, effective immediately. But I mean, we haven't got a competitive match right now anyway. But we're going to talk about this man for about 10, 15 minutes. I am your host, James Clifton. Here is my man, Gary Bennett. I don't know which way I'm pointing, mate. I just went like this. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think some of my settings have changed, so I was getting really confused.
Bless you.
But yes, if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that hype button if you haven't already, and let us know down in the comments what you think. But let's talk about Brian Madjo. I mean, we've already talked about him a little bit over the course of this preseason. He's got 4 goals, I think, already in preseason. Yes, it's against inferior opposition, etc. But I'm just excited to see what this guy can do. He's an absolute beast,
mate. It could be the news that we've just been waiting for. That we just need. Look, we don't know how much of a part he's going to play this season. All I know is what we said on the last show, that this guy, for me, looks like the real deal as a striker. He's big, he's powerful, no fear, energy to burn. 17 years old, looks like a monster. Like, I've just been studying his picture, mate, and I'm just like, this kid is not 17 years old.
Yeah, I was sending Josh some pictures. And I was like, mate, this is huge. Like, look at the size of this bloke. And I was like, he's 17. There's a picture of him stood like next to Cash and that, and he makes Cash look like a child.
Mate, he stood there like that in the training photo with his arms folded. His biceps are like just. And I'm not. I mean, they're not like.
He's not like he's not Traore. He's just
like lean, athletic kind of. I'm going to kill anyone that gets in front of me. Like, I want to see him. I want to see him play. Like, I mean, the great news about today is that he can play in the Super Cup, right? Because we were talking about that. So let's see how when we get to those Bayern and PSG games. I'd love to see him get minutes and see how he handles that kind of stuff, and then. Yeah, it would just be great to have him in and around the squad, mate. I think he adds an extra boost to if Ollie stays around, if Tammy stays around. Because what I've loved about his performances so far pre-season is that desire, mate, that hunger. Like, there's been so many incidents. We can probably make a little bit of a montage of the stuff where he's held the ball up, or where he's chased stuff, or he's sprinted away, or whatever it is. It's really encouraging, man. I'm not getting carried away, but for me, this could. Maybe this is the signing we've, didn't think we were going to have, that we wanted last year but couldn't, have been trying to sort out for God knows how long, really. Because I imagine that his progress has been quite rapid, which is why we've been trying to appeal this thing. And that's so the fact that we've been trying to appeal it says to me that Emery wants him in and around first team football.
It's also not, I mean, obviously it's a Villa podcast, and obviously I'm really excited for Villa. But you can play for England. Like, he could be an England striker, like a beast of an England striker. That kind of like massive, it gives us a different option up front. Yeah,
wow, you're taking leaps there. He's not even played for the Villa, and you put him in the England squad.
Mate, you wait. Honestly, if yes, we're jumping way ahead of ourselves. But Unai Emery has shown what he can do with players. This lad looks hungry. The question is, has he got the retention up here to like keep what Emery wants him to do? Well, but if he gets firing in the next 2 years, mate, why can't he be on that plane? I mean, and yes, everyone's going to start slamming me in the comments, going, "Look at this moron! He's already saying like he's going to be playing for England." Blah blah blah. I'm just saying, you don't know. Like, if you look at English strikers at the moment, we're not blessed with a plethora of great talent.
Well, no, they're all aging, aren't they? As well. Yeah. Like, I would arguably just. From a Villa perspective, like, having this kid, obviously over the last 12 months since we signed him, has been putting some serious work in on the training ground. You can go on YouTube his training montages, man. Like, he's working his proverbials off. Do you know what I mean? And I did this comparison because we got a lot of stick as well about not being positive about Garnacho, right? And it wasn't that I didn't think we were being.
Also, just on that, I don't understand. People say they watched the episode. I'm pretty sure I was pretty pro Garnacho. and you were pretty not so pro, and like you were kind of more just like, let's wait and see, like talking on the pitch.
I think I said that
you acknowledged the fact that it was quite measured and balanced. I thought, but maybe not.
Reading the comments, I was like, yeah, but I'm pretty sure I said 3 times I'm 50-50 on it. It's going to go one or two ways, and if you put the effort in, what I don't want to see is Instagram posts about about his old clubs winding people up. When I'm looking at montages of a 17-year-old kid who's just getting his head down and working. Now, if Garnacho does that, and at the end of the season, mate, I'll eat all my words. I'll go fucking. It was the best signing we ever did, but he's done nothing yet. So he doesn't. Ultimately, let's get behind him 100%. I'll back him on.
He's just gone off with a face injury against BG Patton. I think he's taken a knock to the face, and so he's bleeding from the mouth.
Who's at half time, by the way. There you go.
Yeah. Got also Lindelof. Lindelof scored a goal. Well, that man's got no bounds. He can just keep going. It's unbelievable.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. Look, listen, we've suddenly got a nice, I guess you could say, without having kicked a ball, we've got a good balance of youth and experience now. And if we utilise the youth correctly, and we can keep the core of this team, obviously we've got all the rumours flying around about Konza and about Watkins and whatnot that could still potentially leave the club. I saw a thing on TalkSport yesterday after we did the part about that Villa could be forced to sell Konza because of further financial restrictions. So that's a different kettle of fish, right? If there is that, hopefully we're not forced to do that, and it's more of a choice.
I don't think it's forced. I think when they mean forced, they mean like if someone comes in with 65 mil, we can't turn it down because of the.
Yeah. And we run the risk of not getting anything for him because he's going into the final years of his contract, right? So you run that risk. But we need that balance, and I think the news today about Madjo should give us a real boost, man. I hope. Like Captain McGinn, of course, straight onto fucking Instagram and Twitter, like English player allowed to play in England, free Madjo.
John McGinn's brilliant, man. It's going to be such a sad day if and when he retires or leaves Villa. It's just going to,
I think we've got him till the end, mate. I don't see him. I think he'll play for the next couple of years under Unai Emery. He
needs to become an ambassador of Villa, like Elmo and Chester and that.
Mate, give him a coaching role. Learn from Emery, but he can manage the Villa one day. I just love him, and the fact that he's done that straight away just cracked me up, mate. I was crying my eyes out looking at that. I was just like, this is brilliant. And under the tutelage of Unai Emery and the guidance of John McGinn, I think we're going to be okay. But everyone seems to have written us off straight away. Again, just reading stuff on various news outlets and looking at Twitter and Instagram on the daily, it's kind of Villa are depleted. The mainstream media, this is, by the way, not Villa content creators, because I think we all know the score, right? But they're all kind of like, we've got no chance. That's what it feels like. We've basically, this is a rebuild and we're starting again, and they're not going to be able to compete. A few people saying we're relegation fodder. I'm like, how could I just that?
Look, there's a lot of like I think we spoke about in the last one. There's a lot of unknowns now, right? So we've lost some of our mainstay of troops. Probably in Digne and Tielemans, they are two senior veterans, very good players in their own right. Tielemans was incredibly important to us. Rodgers obviously lit up the league, but as Villa fans, I think the majority of us saw inconsistency there. Yes, he did it in spells, and yes, what he did was brilliant, very, very much so. But it did mean that the team was having to carry him a little bit at times throughout the season. So as Villa fans, we kind of appreciate some of that a bit more than others who see us, in spells or see the highlights or whatever it is. But like you said there, I think the thing that we were all concerned about was just the aging squad.
Yeah.
And we've managed to now bring in 3 good young players or younger players at least. And obviously Madjo now eligible to play. So he's basically like a new signing, and he's 17 years old. And we've got Alisson now on the right wing, who hopefully can stay fucking fit. Garnacho, potential again on the left, 22 years old. Manzambi, young. We've got
and I'm pretty sure we said that on the last podcast as well. Imagine a forward line of I just get confused. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, it's so I think the media are going to jump onto it because they're big moves that have happened. Like the Tielemans and Rodgers deals are huge. They're big deals. And then if Konsa does go, then that's like 3 of our biggest hitters, really. But
it's easy for me to jump on it, right? Because they're 3 big hitters. They're our 3 best players and have been our 3 best players.
And it's valid. We don't know. Only time will tell because there's some big unknowns with these players. Theoretically, these players coming in, yes, they're of very good quality and they have got a lot of potential. If Emery can work with them, so it might take a bit of time. We said might start the season quite slowly, like we did last season. Hopefully not that slowly. I'd rather have a more of a gradual increase in form rather than doing absolute shit and then suddenly just winning 11 games on the trot. Where my heart can't take that again, if I'm honest. Like it's just really nice because it's been ages, I think, since we've had like a really young raw talent to kind of jump on. We had that with Duran before, but we weren't sure if he was staying around because he was like a bit of a wild cannon. Whereas with this, I'm like, yeah, I'm excited by this. I'm excited by him, Manzambi, even Garnacho. Yeah. I'm excited to see these players.
Mate, I agree. I am excited. And the thing is, I feel, this is how I feel. I feel like the business has been done early. So I don't like, I know there's going to be the rumour mill of Konsa. And whether, I mean, the thing that's doing the rumour mill massively at the moment is whether we're going to bid for Jack Grealish again. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah,
like,
we'll talk about that next one.
I love Jack, and he'll always have a special place in my heart. But we can't afford him because he'd have to. Similar for me, he's on 300k a week at Man City.
We had an in the know who keeps on popping up in our comments, James Saunders, and to be fair, it tends to be so far. I think he's been like kind of correct-ish. He was saying that we're looking to try and get him in, and he would come for 100k a week.
That's the only way it happens if he's willing to take that pay cut, and it's whether Emery wants him or not. But I just think that there's a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot to get him over the line. I think, but you never know. I'd never say never. And if he came back, I'd welcome him with open arms. I won't be the ones that he's burned all bridges, but I just don't see it happening. But what I'm saying, I think Emery's got a clear plan. I think he had the clear plan from the moment that final ball was kicked in Istanbul, mate. I think the Rodgers deal would have been in motion in some capacity and already done. Probably even Tielemans. As much as it pains us, we don't know. But we spoke about this last season throughout the pod because Tielemans have said some very weird statements throughout the season, didn't he? About kind of
the last couple of years, I think. I mean, apparently, so the Rodgers one for starters. Apparently, I think we knew we were going to sell Rodgers. I think from what I've read, I think maybe Jacob Tanswell actually wrote about this as well. But he said that. It was around 100 million, and the conversations were happening with Arsenal. But we can just say a very, very big thank you to the Anderson deal, which basically set that precedent and kind of pushed that man up. And then Chelsea made that bid, and we we're like, yeah, cool. And then with the Tielemans deal, apparently there's kind of been conversations, or Man U at least have been keeping tabs or in conversations with his camp for like the last 3 years. So I imagine that because there was this clause stuff, right? And apparently it was going down year on year. And it might have been the case that Man U were just waiting for it to get down to that 35 million level to trigger it. Who knows?
Look, I don't see it being like a smash and grab kind of scenario where we've got to sell these players. I think basically it's kind of, I think the offers that we wanted came in and we've accepted, and there's a plan in place to kind of to move forward. And when you look at it now with the instant, purchases of Manzambi and Gomez and now Garnacho, like it's if previous season it's taken a little while. We've gone right to the deadline to get players in, and that's not happened this time. So now these players are getting more or less a full pre-season, right? For the ones that haven't been at the World Cup. As I said from the start, mate, in Unai Emery, we trust. Yeah. And I just got a sneaky feeling that with the players that he's bought, yes, we don't know if they're going to hit the ground running, but the style of players that they are fits into a system that says we're going to be a very dangerous side going forward, mate. Like with pace in behind and of a core midfield, even without kind of Onana and without Tielemans, where you've got, the likes of Ross Barkley who can still do a job. You've got, obviously, Kamara is the big one. If he's fit and stays fit all season, we won't leak goals like we did last season either.
He's on the bench today.
Let's hope that he's back for the start of the season, fully fit and raring to go, and we can keep him fit. With McGinn in the heart of it, there's options there. Even the wonderful Lindelof played there in the last part of the season, did a great job. Like, brilliant. It doesn't all have to happen right now. Like you said, it can be a gradual thing. I'd love to see us keep what we've got now, build on this, get them together, get them firing, right? And then as we approach January, if we do need something, because, whatever we need, that another holding player or we need a right back, I said to you on the last show, I think maybe we keep Nedeljkovic as a cover for Cash. I can see it happening because
I'd like that. Just for whatever reason, it seems like Emery doesn't want it, does he? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
He's playing in pre-season and there's no rumours sniffing around that he's going to be sold to Leipzig or we won't loan him back out, whatever. Actually, for this moment in time, to save the club a little bit of money, we've got a ready-made replacement there. Is he as good as Cash? Probably not, but it could be.
I'd rather see him there than trying to put go hard, Bogard, or rather see him than Bogard.
Mate, we've got into an alternative dimension here. Like,
I'd rather see him than Bogard or Lindelof, if I'm honest. So,
we haven't even mentioned Bogard. Like, we know Emery likes Bogard. He could play in that holding role. It could be his season to play alongside Kamara. Well,
he was playing today with. He was playing there today with. Who's in that holding role? He was there with Gomez. He's still on the pitch, by the way. He hasn't. He's one of the few.
I think he'll be covered to that. But you could say arguably Gomez and Kamara. Look, Gomez's stats for ball recovery are the highest in the Premier League. You could have a midfield duo there that breaks up play brilliantly, and then with the young pace, like if Alisson can stay fit, mate, he's rapid. He's so super quick. And if he's direct, and from what we've seen in the snippets that we've seen, he looks to be that way. He wants to play, get the ball down, and beat players. Look, it's exciting. I think it could be a good season. But we won't know until we're 4 games in. And if we've not scored a goal in another 4 games, I'll be like,
everyone's like, oh, shit, get him out of the club. Rather than Watkins will be Alisson. But so just quickly back to end it on Madjo. I suppose obviously we're excited. We want to see him. I think it'll be interesting because I don't know how much he'll be involved in the season. Like, as in, he's not gonna come in and just start games or anything like that. He might get 20 minutes here and there, and potentially, like, what happens with Tammy there, I don't know. Maybe now this deal's done, can Tammy? I don't know. Will Tammy stick around? Will he let Tammy go? Oh, I suppose we need a squad, though, don't we? Because
I think we've got the domestic. I think Tammy's just happy to be here and do whatever's required of him. I think he'll sit on the bench if he needs to, play second fiddle to Watkins, play, help Madjo develop it. I think, like you say, we're going to have a lot of football to play, right? So I just hope that Madjo gets a chance to be in and around the squad and actually get some minutes, like say 10, 15 minutes towards the end of games, just to see what he can do, right? Because we've got, at this point, nothing to lose and everything to gain. And the only way he gains experience and matures into the next phase is by playing. So put him up, put him in, give him a go and see what he does. Because I've just got a sneaky feeling, mate, the sheer size of this kid, right? Why would he fear anyone?
It's going to be really interesting seeing him up against some of these massive Premier League defenders. It'll just be interesting to see, because we've seen it before, right? You can be big, massive, and that kind of thing, but some of these players, they've got like the know-how. There's these little things where they can kind of mitigate that, and they're just like, nah, mate, get back in your box, kind of thing.
Look, he's got to develop, and he can only get better. But if you're looking at from what we've seen, right, just the basics of what we've seen: movement, very good; strength, incredible, right? Desire, wonderful. Just chasing stuff down, making tackles, kind of getting into the right areas, running with the ball, finishing, right? great different types of finishing, like just all kinds of stuff where you go, when was the last time we saw that at Villa?
Yeah.
Like,
can you imagine if you've got like Watkins, who, as much as we kind of like are hypercritical of him, he gives defenders problems, and he gets them to run around, and he keeps going, and they tire. And then you've got Garnacho potentially running at you. You've maybe had Alisson or whoever running at you all game. You got all these players, and then 15 minutes to go, and I'm like, fucking hell, like this is a slug. Then Madjo comes on. It's just like brick wall slamming into your face.
Absolutely, mate. We've got to utilise it correctly. I've said this from start. I know I am hypercritical of Watkins, but when he's on form, like the last 11 games of the season, like he was, right? He's on play. He's work rate, and the way that he can stretch defences, and chirping with goals, right, when he wants to. He can be he's a very, very good Premier League player, Ollie Watkins. But he's at a real crossroads now because he's about to turn 31, and he could either have two of the greatest seasons of his career, right? And if you look at the likes of Danny Welbeck, who have just signed for Chelsea and have kept going, right? So it's up to him, but this is a crucial season for Watkins, as last season was, which is why it was disappointing and why I was so critical, because it was a World Cup year. He went 30 games with, 8 goals and 1 assist or something, right? It wasn't good. Now, okay, he finished the season strongly, but if we are going to compete seriously this season on all fronts, in domestically and in Europe, then he needs to be better. It's as simple as, and hopefully with the competition of Brian Madjo and Tammy, like utilise the 3, play with 2 of them. Like I really hope that what I'm encouraged by is that with the wide players, with the width and the pace, that just maybe we'll play slightly differently. You know, that we will try and balls over the top. And the options there, right? So we've got a different way of playing. We could go 2 up top because you've got players that could actually string a partnership together. You could have Madjo as a target man and have Watkins run off in. You know, it could work. So yeah, I'm excited, and this has been the best news that all pre-season, because 1, he's super impressed me, and 2, the fact that he's now registered and can compete is great news. I don't know why it took a month to decide, right? Because it can't have been that complicated, but at least it's good news, and it's been upheld. And he's, as John McGinn said, English guys allowed to play in England.
Yeah.
Hashtag free Madjo.
Well, yeah. So we just thought we'd jump on just to give our thoughts on that. Obviously, let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you see him playing much of a part this season? Don't worry, we are keeping our feet on the ground. We're just very excited about seeing his play, and we're very happy that finally he is being cleared to play for us.
Will we now, right? Because this is the wonderful world of social media, right? Now we've been positive about somebody, we're going to be shut down now for being overly positive and we're being delusional because we think because we've
got to give Garnacho a chance, but we're not allowed to get overexcited about Madjo. I reckon we just need to come on games, just be like, welcome to Every Week We Follow. the objective, very down-to-earth podcast. Madjo can now play for Villa. Garnacho is a Villa player, but we have no thoughts about these matters. There you go. Take that, clip that up, put where you want. It's going to go viral. Amazing. Right. Anyway, guys, final thoughts to sing us out, mate.
Final thoughts are Villa are winning. That's the most important thing at the moment.
2-0?
I think it's 2-0.
3-0. Ah, Boubacar! He's back!
There you go. Kamara back on the score sheet. So 3-0 if you're watching that. Enjoy the rest of the PG Bannon game. 3-0, comfortable win, I would have thought. This takes us nicely into the Bayern game in 3 days' time, and we can start getting excited about the Super Cup, which I am going to the warehouse to watch. Unfortunately, I'm not going to the game, gutted, but I'll be at the warehouse to watch it. Let's hope we can do it. So we'll see you on Monday, where we'll...
Thursday.
What day? Tuesday. We'll see you Thursday, where we'll talk a bit more about the PG Bannon game and get ready for the Bayern game at the weekend. Yeah. Oh, cool. Till the next one, people. As always, every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Hey, see ya.